You know, folks, we all probably do videos saying what we plan to do for New Year's and what our resolutions will be or what we plan to do. Well, you see, I have something in mind that is really a big thing. And if you're a Sonic fan out there and you're a fan of the comic book, you might want to listen to this. You see, my plan is really important because it's going to involve everybody's help. Now, I have said numerous times, and I've mentioned this on numerous occasions, that I have no hatred, no vendetta, no disrespect towards Ian Flynn. However, there are those that dislike what he's done. Now, recently I mentioned in one of the numerous Sonic related message boards that what's happened recently over this past year, from May to recently with issue 232, just really doesn't make a lot of sense in the eyes of many fans, and honestly it didn't make a lot of sense in my view. I mean, I love reading the comic. I think I think Ian has a lot of potential as a writer if he gets it done right, if he realizes what he has to do correctly. But there are those, and I'll even include myself in here, that feel what's happening is he's either one, running out of ideas, two, basically finally having a way to get his fan fiction stories officially published, or three, he's in his final 18 to 20 months on the book. Now, I don't know which one of those it could be. Some have agreed that it might be the fact that he's running out of ideas. Some have said that there's nothing more dangerous than a fanboy having his ideas come to life. And some have even agreed that it might be the fact that he's in his final run with the comic. Either way, there's a lot of fans that are not too happy about what he has done. You know, you take a look at that last panel in 232, and again, I'll be honest with you, I have not opened 232 yet, but you look at that last panel that many people have talked about, described, summarized, and heck, you go to DeviantArt, there's somebody that posted some kind of an art related picture to it. You basically look at that last panel with Eggman holding a blowtorch towards Sally's robotic face. You think to yourself, what's next? And to a lot of fans, it's like, you know, they don't know what this guy's got planned. Now, some fans do appreciate that. There's no doubt about it. They do appreciate, you know, what Ian has done. I mean, they look forward to what's going to happen next. They want to know what's going to happen next. They find it more interesting. They find it more developed. I mean, a lot have even given praise to the backup story, and I will agree on that. If, you know, a short little backup story that shows some character development between Bunny and Antoine, if that's a sign that he could do good works, he can do good writing, then yeah, that shows he has the potential. But then again, there are things like the main stories recently that a lot of fans feel just don't make sense. I mean, I mentioned in my most recent topic, you know, of what sense did it make? Well, I asked the question of what sense did it make to kill a character like Sally off screen, off panel, if you will, in 225. You know, have her in Genesis, which was probably made sense. You know, because, you know, Sonic's got to meet her for the first time or anything. But basically besides that, have her, like I said, have her killed off panel in 225, restore her in 230, and then have her roboticized. It doesn't make sense in many people's eyes. It's like, you just made Sonic look like a complete idiot. You made Sonic restore timeline for nothing. You know? And, again, I'm just in the middle of it, right now. I'm just like, I'm just looking forward to see which way this goes and everything. And yeah, I will admit maybe part of it's the fact that I don't like what's happened to the character. But, to me it's like I'm just in the middle of those that are like, okay, we don't like what he's done with certain characters, but let's just see where he goes from here without saying a word. And it's not due to the fact that we may hate the guy or dislike the guy or have a vendetta against the guy. It's more or less the fact that we don't know what he's got planned at times. We say he's predictable, and a lot of us, including myself, I will add myself in here, kind of feel that we know where he's going now with the possible restoration of Sally to normal. But then again, we don't know that. We don't know that. I'm still hanging on to the theory, the possible theory, that this is all nothing but a prophet dream. I admit I've been wrong in the past about certain things. But if my theory was to prove to be correct in some ways, then it just shows that he's not just running out of ideas, maybe, with all due respect, because he has potential to be a talented writer, one of the best of all time. But it also proves to me that not only is he running out of ideas, maybe, but he's now relying more on his fan fiction or webcomics to get the ideas. Because when you think about it, all this BS, all this bullshit, if you will, all this downward spiral deal, what happened to Sally, August being king, Jeffrey's being a traitor, this and that, it's like, how can this all be happening at once? It doesn't make sense. This is not, let me put it to you like this, not even in the most popular comic books like X-Men and Spider-Man and Batman and Justice League and Superman, this doesn't really happen unless it's all part of a dream or a prophet dream. Let me give you another example. The Gargoyles. They had an episode called Future Tense. And basically Goliath was having, thanks to Puck, Goliath was basically having what looked like to be a prophet dream of what could be if he, Elisa and Angela and Broadway didn't get back to New York in time, of what could happen. And it all seems so real, right? But all this craziness was happening all at once. You had all the characters dying, basically getting wiped out. You had one of the characters being revealed as a traitor. And it's like all this shit was raining down on them all at once. And then we find out it's nothing more than a dream. Or maybe a prophet dream. A prophecy. So that's just my theory that I'm sticking with. What if it's in that direction? What if it's in that kind of a tone? Because even Gargoyles, like I said, with all the other comic franchises like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Justice League, Avengers, Iron Man, you name it, all of this has been nothing more than, well, basically anything that's happened similar in their comics has been nothing more short than a dream, or a prophet dream of what could be if they don't do the right thing or if they don't get their act together. And I'm not saying that's the direction Ian's going in, because he probably knows people are predicting that's the direction he'll go in. But to me, it just makes sense that it might be one of those directions. Maybe a portion of it might be correct. I don't know. But again, Ian has a lot of potential. He has a lot of potential to be one of the best writers ever for this comic. And a lot of fans already see that. If he could do what he's done with this backup story between Bunny and Antoine, then and some of the Sonic Universe stories he's written, then it proves he could do it. But I think what it is you have a lot of longtime fans of the, not just the comic, but of the franchise in itself, longtime fans of basically this show. In the early days of the comic, you have longtime fans of this show in the early portion of the comic that are not happy about what he's done. They're not happy, they're not thrilled by it. You know, they want somebody to step forward. Or they either want someone to step forward and take over for Ian as the head writer. They either want Ian to finally get himself straight and do what's right. Or basically they just want him removed. So this is where my idea, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, comes into play. It's a big deal, it's a big project. Basically my project for the new year 2012 is to have people do some video responses here on YouTube. Now you can PM me your video response or your video basically on how you feel about Ian and where you feel and what you feel should be better. Basically what I plan to do is have every fan here on YouTube, Saturday Morning Sonic, Saturday AM Sonic, the Sonic Stadium, the Sega forums, anybody that wants to participate, DeviantArt, basically to voice their opinions through video of how they feel about Ian Flynn and how they feel of the job he's doing on the comic. And basically the thing I hope to do during the year is to put all these videos together. I will create a playlist on my YouTube channel if it's still around, depending on a certain bill, whether that certain bill is passed or not. But I will make a playlist of these videos that each and every one of you do, if you choose to participate. And then what I will do, because I can also have YouTube on Xbox now, and YouTube's recordable on Xbox, believe it or not, through DVD recorders, I will record each and every one of your videos onto a DVD along with me. I'll even do a video response as well. And what I plan to do, maybe with a letter, a lengthy letter, and if anybody wants to type up one themselves and add it, that's fine. But what I plan to do is send that, if things go correctly, send that both to Archie Comics and the Sega corporations, probably in San Francisco, and let them know and let them see for themselves and hear how many fans feel about Ian and how Ian's doing. So that way they can either decide, okay, Ian can stay on, or they could say, okay Ian, it's time to move you off the book, put somebody else on. But that's what I hope to plan to do. That's my big project I've got planned for this upcoming year. So that's all I'm going to say, and I will talk to you all later. And if I don't, have a happy new year and a happy 2012.